My story. Still adjusting to the planet, huh? Teased Zara, his colleague, as she strolled into the lab. Her dark hair bounced with each step and her smile was infectious. Just getting lost in the data, Jake replied, averting his eyes from the hologram. You know, typical nerd stuff. Right? I forget that some people can't appreciate the beauty of a world governed by unknowns. Come on, there's more out there than numbers and wavelengths. She gestured towards the observation deck. Fine, he relented, saving his work. Let's see what all the fuss is about. As they stepped onto the observation deck, the vast expanse of space greeted them. Brilliant stars twinkled against a backdrop of endless black, the nebulae swirling in patterns that seemed almost alive. Wow, Jake breathed, momentarily entranced. It's hard to believe we're really out here. Zara leaned against the railing. This is just the beginning, Jake. Imagine all the civilizations waiting to be discovered. Speaking of which, he said, eyeing a nearby research crate. Did you see the shipment from the Eloria delegation? I did. The linguist's journal they sent along is supposed to be a gem. They're such an insightful people. She folded her arms, gaze sparkling. Wonder what they think of us. Probably the same as we think of them, Jake countered playfully. Unfathomable beings with fascinating cultures. You know, like that one documentary we watched? The one with the Eloria choir. Oh, please. Zara rolled her eyes, a grin on her face. You just like their harmonies. Can you blame me? It was like listening to the cosmos itself. The conversation flowed easily, but Jake felt his mind wander back to that crate. His curiosity had always drawn him closer to knowledge. Want to check it out? Jake asked, leading the way into the lab again. Sure, but I call dibs on the journal first. Zara replied, her competitive spirit kicking in. I think it's fair if we split it. You can start it and I'll chip in when you need backup, Jake suggested, opening the crate. As they rummaged through the contents, his fingers brushed against a leather-bound journal. It was adorned with intricate patterns, clearly Eloria in origin. The pages were thin, each filled with delicate script. Bingo! Zara exclaimed, snatching it from him. Let's get this open. She flipped the cover and began reading aloud. This journal is a record of my observations on the human presence on Virtus Prime. Zara's voice took on a dramatic tone. The first interaction was thrilling, yet filled with uncertainty. Jake leaned closer, intrigued. What do they describe? Their first impressions of us? Oh, it's good so far. Wait, here's more. As I approached the humans, I felt a mix of trepidation and curiosity. What would I show them about our culture? Sounds just like us, always trying to impress, Jake joked, but a part of him resonated with the words. He could almost feel Lyra, the Eloria linguist, pondering her feelings. Zara continued, flipping through pages filled with unique observations. Look at this. Their laughter chimed like bells, and their expressions are so vibrant. I wonder if they understand how their emotions radiate energy. I like her, Jake murmured. Maybe I should write back. Zara chuckled. You? Write a response to an alien journal. I mean, why not? I could add my thoughts on human awareness or explore first contact from our side. She raised an eyebrow. You serious? Why not? She seems to have a lot more depth than just observations. What if I added my perspective? He reached for a pen, grinning at the thrill of the idea. Okay, but if we get in trouble for it, I'm definitely not taking the blame. Zara rolled her eyes dramatically but held the journal out to him. He opened to a blank page, his heart racing with the idea of connecting across such vast distances. As he wrote, the words felt fluid, a natural extension of his thoughts. He penned his admiration for their work as linguists, shared his own hesitations about interactions between their species, and added a note of encouragement about curiosity and exploration. Done, he announced with an exaggerated flourish, feeling strangely accomplished. Zara's eyes widened. You're really doing it. This could be groundbreaking. Or it could be completely ignored, Jake countered, his smile fading slightly. But at least I tried. Confidence, my friend. Confidence. She smirked as she took the journal again. Let's pin these thoughts in the margins after each of her entries. Maybe it will inspire her. Right, Jake replied, feeling the energy of collaboration surge between them. They spent the next hour alternating between reading Lyra's entries and adding Jake's thoughts, each word compelling them closer to understanding the other. Suddenly, Jake leaned back, stretching. You know, I never thought I'd find myself doing this. What do you mean? Zara asked, pausing from her reading. I mean, I came out here for research to catalog life forms and study environments. I didn't expect to feel this connection even with an alien, Jake reflected, feeling a hint of vulnerability. It's because you're human, Jake. It's in our nature to seek connection, she replied earnestly. That's what makes us unique among the stars. This journal is a testament to that. He chuckled, grateful for her support, but felt an overwhelming sense of excitement. This was more than research now. It was about relationship and discovery. As they continued their work, little did they know that that journal would change both their lives and the fabric of the intergalactic discourse forever. With renewed vigor, Jake stared out into the cosmos. For so many years, he had longed for connection, and now it seemed he was on the verge of something extraordinary. What lay ahead would be more than he ever imagined. Chapter 2, Across Languages. The following day, the laboratory was a haze of activity. Scientists and researchers hustled around, their footsteps echoing against the metallic floors and their voices blending into a cacophony of excitement. Jake arrived early, fueled by anticipation. He had spent the night thinking about Lyra's journal and the connection it sparked. "Hey, sleepyhead," Zara called out as she walked in, coffee in hand. She was already brimming with energy. "Ready to dive deeper into that journal?" "Absolutely. I was just thinking about how her entries spark so many questions," Jake said, pulling out the leather-bound journal and flipping to the last entry they had discussed. "What do you think she means by radiate energy? Is it emotional or something physical?" Zara took a sip of her coffee. "Maybe both?" Emily, the psychology expert, mentioned that emotion can often manifest in bodily reactions. "Perhaps she's noting how our expressions are more than just sign language, they have an aura." "An aura? I wonder what hers looks like." Jake mused, image of a luminous Lyra dancing in his mind. It would be fascinating to find out how they interpret emotions visually. "Let's dig in," Zara said, her eagerness infectious as she leaned over the journal. "We should go through more of her entries today." Hours flew by as they plunged into dialogue, scrutinizing each entry while exchanging ideas. Jake's mind raced with possibilities and Zara kept jotting down notes. Eventually, Zara looked up, her eyes sparking with curiosity. "What if we start direct communication? Like, suggest we meet. Can you imagine Lyra's reaction to that?" "Meet?" Jake felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. "We could, but they're still at the exploration phase. We don't want to pressure them. But think of the potential. You've poured your thoughts into that journal. The least we can do is offer an invitation to respond directly. I mean, we could establish a bridge between our worlds." Zara pressed. "I suppose," Jake said, mulling it over. "It just feels monumental. But what if they think we're being pushy? Trust me, if I were in her position, I'd want to know more." "You've already opened the door." Zara waved her hands animatedly. "Imagine how it will feel when she reads those words. We should prepare a draft response. Something articulate, inviting, and relatable." "All right, let's do it." Just a simple invitation to engage, Jake relented, enthusiasm building. "But how do we phrase it?" Their deliberations ensued, laughter ringing through the lab as they crafted sentences. "How about this? Your observations have captivated our team, and we'd love an opportunity to know more about you and your culture. Would you be inclined to share your thoughts in person?" Jake suggested. "That's perfect," Zara exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "Just the right amount of curiosity without being overbearing. I mean, we're friendly humans, right?" "Right," he chuckled. "I just hope she responds positively." As their conversation flowed, they began to delve deeper into Illyria culture, attempting to learn more about the species through Lyra's journal entries. They spoke about their architecture, social structures, and even culinary practices. "Here's another entry," Zara said, her voice filled with enthusiasm. She describes a traditional Illyrian dish made from local flora. The hues of the dish resonate harmonies across the palate. "What do you think that means?" "Could be a culinary metaphor," Jake suggested with a playful grin. "Maybe they believe food reflects emotion. Or perhaps they add layers of spices that reflect the seasons. A dish for every feeling." Zara ventured, giggling. "Can you imagine a sadness stew or a joy pie?" Jake laughed along with her. "I'd love to try that." "Cooking could be another form of expressive art." "Totally. Imagine hosting an intergalactic potluck," Zara said, her imagination running wild. "We could bring the burgers and they could bring whatever harmonies they come up with. It might just be the ultimate cultural exchange," Jake reflected. "If only we could invite them right now." Zara paused, tapping her pen to her chin. "Wait a second, what if that could actually happen? What if Lyra could visit us?" "Zara," Jake laughed, shaking his head. "You can't be serious." "Why not? It's out of the box but sounds thrilling. You've already initiated communication. We can break boundaries. It's definitely ambitious. All we need is an official go-ahead," he countered, eyeing her skeptically but with a budding sense of wonder. "Why not propose it in the next entry?" After further discussions, We'd be thrilled to host you if you're willing. Zara's enthusiasm was infectious. All right, Jake smiled, the thrill of their collaboration igniting a fire within him. Let's do it. The more inviting we are, the more likely she'll want to learn about us. After much deliberation, they meticulously crafted the letter to Lyra, intertwining their thoughts, inviting her decisively to Virtus Prime if she felt comfortable. Once finished, Jake leaned back, glancing at Neto, the team's tech specialist. Neto, could you assist us with sending this message once we finalize the journal entries? Neto, always focused but friendly, raised an eyebrow as he typed away at his console. You guys crafting an interspecies love letter or something? It's not like that, Jake said, swatting playfully at him. Sure. Neto grinned, adding to the teasing atmosphere. But this is surprisingly sweet. I want a front row seat to see how it all unfolds. Let's be careful about our words, all right? We want them to feel welcomed, not cornered, Jake cautioned, feeling the weight of the situation settle on his shoulders. That's the spirit, Zara encouraged, placing the journal carefully on the table as they prepared to send it off. Jake felt an exhilarating wave of hope wash over him. This is it. We're literally attempting to converse across galaxies. Can you imagine what that could mean? I get it, it's a big deal. But it's also exciting. Zara replied, her excitement palpable. Think about what this could lead to. A broader understanding between our species. It's a step forward. They carefully placed the journal into the small transport module that would relay their communication. As the door sealed, Jake took a deep breath. Whatever happens, I'm glad we're doing this together. Of course, Zara said reassuringly. This is just the beginning. Who knows what might come next? As they stood there together, a shared anticipation palpable in the air, Jake realized that their connection was growing as they endeavored to unite their worlds. The possibilities were endless, and together, they were ready to explore whatever lay ahead. Chapter 3: Unspoken Connections. The days that followed were filled with eager anticipation. The journal now sat prominently on Jake's desk, its spine cradled by the gentle glow of the laboratory lights. He found himself glancing at it frequently, half expecting it to respond. Why the long face? Zara called, pulling Jake out of his reverie. She entered the lab with a bright smile and another cup of coffee in hand. This one for him. Just waiting for Lyra to respond, Jake admitted, accepting the cup gratefully. I can't shake off the feeling that we might be pushing too far. Worrywart, we've opened a line of communication. That's what matters, she said, playfully knocking him on the arm. Besides, I need to know what she thinks about that whole cooking idea, right? Jake chuckled. Imagine the Elorian version of a barbecue. Exactly. Think of the flavors. You could prepare a humanoid dish and she could show us how to make her traditional, harmonious dish, Zara suggested, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Jake took a sip of the coffee and smiled. You know, for a scientific research mission, we're diving deep into culinary arts. Every great exploration has its fun side, Jake, she teased. It makes for great bonding and camaraderie. Just then, the comm system chimed. Attention, all personnel. Incoming communication from the Eloria delegation. Jake's heart raced. This could be it. Zara hurried to her workstation. Let's see what they have to say. They gathered around the main console, their breaths intermingling as the screen blinked to life. A holographic image materialized, creating a soft, ethereal glow in the darkened lab. Lyra's figure appeared, her lavender skin shimmering like starlight against the backdrop of the Eloria ships. Hello, she said, her voice melodious with a slight echo as if each word was sung. I've received your communication. Lyra, Jake exclaimed, unable to contain his excitement. I'm so glad you're here. Zara stood beside him, barely able to contain her enthusiasm. We were hoping to hear from you. I appreciate your willingness to engage, Lyra began, her eyes bright with curiosity. I must admit, your approach was unexpected. It is rare for us to have such proactive communication. Jake leaned forward, his hands clasped excitedly. We wanted to connect, to learn about your culture, and hopefully for you to learn about us. Lyra smiled, a gesture that lit up her entire face. Your culture intrigues me and I found your journal editions quite stimulating. Glad to hear it. We were hoping to dig deeper into how Elorians perceive emotions. Like this radiating energy you mentioned. Zara interjected eagerly. Ah yes, it is intrinsic to our existence. Emotions manifest not only through our expressions but through an aura, a visualization of our feelings. It can vary in color and intensity, Lyra explained, tilting her head slightly, as if to gauge their reactions. Jake shared a glance with Zara. So your emotions literally have color? Yes. For example, joy emits a vibrant gold, while sadness can manifest in cooler hues like indigo, Lyra elaborated, her aura shimmering faintly with each word. This understanding weaves into every aspect of our culture, art, music, and even our culinary practices. Speaking of which, Jake said, trying to suppress his excitement, would you be interested in sharing one of your traditional dishes? Lyra raised an eyebrow, surprise evident in her expressive features. Do you invite me to your world to partake in a culinary exchange? Zara jumped in. Absolutely. We thought it would be a fun way to learn about each other. Through our food. Plus, you could teach us how to prepare your traditional dish. Lyra's laughter rang out, melodious and soft. You humans are quite charming. Perhaps I shall accept your invitation. Jake's heart raced. Great. We can set up an area to prepare the dishes and even have our team join us. It'll be a feast. Feast. Zara sounded giddy. Food, laughter, and stories. This sounds perfect. Lyra nodded. I will first share the essence of Elorian taste with you, and I will bring a dish imbued with teachings of our people. The experience must be holistic to inspire understanding. So, when can we expect you? Jake asked, leaning closer to the screen, captivated. Soon, I hope, but I must coordinate with my delegation, Lyra replied. Our travels can be complex, considering our primary focus on exploration. Of course, please take your time. We're just eager to learn and connect, Jake assured her. The screen glimmered as Lyra's expression softened. It is refreshing to see species willing to share and explore. I look forward to it. As the communication ended and the console powered down, Zara turned to Jake, her eyes wide. We did it. She's coming. Can you believe it? Jake laughed, feeling a rush of exhilaration. Eloria food in our lab. This is going to be mind-blowing. Plus, think of the stories she'll share with us. We need to prepare some thoughtful questions, Zara added, her mind racing with ideas. Let's make sure we get the most out of this meeting. Definitely. We should also consider what dishes we can prepare, that way she'll have a taste of Earth to compare, Jake suggested. Let's not overthink it. What's more important is the connection. Food is just the medium, Zara said, shifting gears. We should focus on what her culture values, history, music, art. Those are the real touchstones. Good point. Perhaps we can even show her some human art, Jake mused. Photography, paintings, there's so much we can offer. Let's gather some examples of human art and music. We can prepare a mini presentation about us to share, she suggested enthusiastically. The excitement surged between them as they grabbed materials from their workstation. They explored ancient Earth artworks, famous composers, and native instruments from various cultures. What about excluding any overly complex styles? We don't want to overwhelm her, Jake proposed, flipping through various images. Exactly. Zara agreed, her enthusiasm contagious. Let's keep it simple and relatable. Soon, their lab was transformed. Within hours, they had created a multimedia presentation showcasing aspects of human culture, seamlessly blending visuals with sound. I think we're ready for the most epic cultural exchange, Jake said, studying their work with satisfaction. Agreed. Just wait until Lyra experiences karaoke night. Zara laughed. Too much, maybe? Jake said, chuckling at the thought of Elorian harmonies blending with off-key human voices. In the name of cultural understanding, we must do it, Zara declared with mock seriousness. Their shared laughter. Nyanship. I didn't expect to go on this journey. Thank you for encouraging this, Zara. It means a lot. Onward to new worlds, my friend, she responded, her eyes sparkling with dreams of what lay ahead. In that moment, surrounded by their preparations, they realized that this was more than an academic pursuit. It was about forging connections, building relationships, and experiencing the universality of culture. Jake gazed at Lyra's journal now resting on his desk, feeling a surge of excitement for what was to come. They were about to explore the unknown, and together they would navigate the intricate paths of two vastly different cultures, eager for the chapters yet to unfold. Chapter 4, The Kissing. The day arrived, one that Jake had been anxiously awaiting. The lab buzzed with excitement as the team scrambled to make final preparations for Lyra's arrival. Jake, feeling a mix of nerves and anticipation, paced in front of the main entrance. Relax, Zara called, bustling past him with various ingredients for their Elorian-inspired dish. You're acting like it's the first day of school. Yeah, but what if I mess something up? It's not every day you invite an alien to our world, Jake replied, running a hand through his hair nervously. You'll be fine, Zara reassured him, her voice filled with confidence. Just be yourself. She's coming to get to know us, not to judge you. Jake nodded, inhaling deeply to steady himself. Right? Just a friendly intergalactic dinner party. What could go wrong? Zara grinned. Exactly. You've prepared well. And if you're worried about the food, I'll take the lead on that. Just handle the presentation and interactions. All right, Jake conceded, still feeling jittery. Guess I'll just keep her entertained then. As if on cue, a soft chime echoed through the lab and a shimmering portal materialized in front of them. The air tingled with energy as Lyra stepped through, her lavender skin glowing in the lab's artificial light. Greetings, Earth friends, Lyra said, her voice warm and melodic. Lyra, welcome, Jake exclaimed, stepping forward. He extended his hand as she approached. Thank you for coming. She reached out, and as their hands touched, an unexpected warmth surged through him, sending a spark that intensified the moment. He quickly withdrew his hand, feeling slightly flustered. Your greeting is heartening, Lyra said with a smile that lit up her features. I am excited to learn about your world. Zara stepped forward, gathering her composure. We're thrilled to have you. We've prepared a small presentation to introduce you to aspects of human culture. I look forward to it, Lyra replied, her eyes filled with curiosity. But first, I believe you have an Elorian dish for me? Right? Let's get started, Jake said, leading her towards the kitchen area. We decided to make a hybrid of your flavors and some earth ingredients. Oh, Lyra tilted her head inquisitively. What does that involve? We're calling it celestial pasta, Zara announced, grabbing ingredients from the table. It incorporates your essence of flavor while being easy to prepare. What a delightful title, Lyra commented, her voice a mix of admiration and surprise. Jake blushed slightly, feeling a swell of pride. Thanks. We really wanted this to show a blending of our cultures. As they gathered around the kitchen space, the atmosphere crackled with energy. Zara deftly demonstrated how to knead the pasta while Lyra watched, her expression filled with fascination. You blend with such ease, Lyra remarked, her focus on Zara's movements. Your dexterity enhances the overall experience. It is as if every movement tells a story. There's a rhythm to it, Zara replied, smiling. Cooking is not just about food, it's about the process and the people involved. Jake began preparing the sauce, glancing over at Lyra, who attentively observed every step. So, what's the most beloved dish in Eloria? He asked, eager to learn more. Lyra paused, her expression thoughtful. It is an intricate dish called lurton. Each layer represents an emotion. It is usually reserved for significant gatherings, meant to reinforce bonds among us. Wow, I love that idea, Jake said, intrigued. Food becomes a medium for connection. Indeed, in Eloria, food is sacred. Much like trust, Lyra added, her eyes glimmering. As you create a meal, you nurture relationships. Zara glanced at Jake and winked. See, this is exactly what I was hoping for. Cultural exchanges. Jake's heart raced with excitement and nerves, wondering how much deeper this connection with Lyra might go. The more they cooked and conversed, the more comfortable he began to feel. Once the pasta was ready, they set the table with care, placing the Elorian dish they had crafted right alongside their celestial creation. Shall we commence with a toast? Lyra suggested, her expression a mix of seriousness and playfulness. Absolutely, Zara chimed in. To new friendships and culinary adventures. Jake raised his glass, feeling empowered by the moment. To discovery, across worlds, he echoed, and they clicked their glasses together, laughter filling the air. As they settled into the meal, Lyra took her first bite of the celestial pasta. Her eyes widened in delight, the colors around her subtly shifting in response to her emotions. It is delightful. You have found a perfect harmony of flavors. Jake felt a surge of pride at her reaction. I'm glad you like it. I will admit, this combo is unexpected, Lyra mused, her expression thoughtful as she savored each bite. The Earthling's approach to culinary arts intrigues me. Zara couldn't contain her excitement. And wait until you try the Lurton. It'll be an experience. Dinner flowed effortlessly as they shared stories, cultural insights mingling with laughter. Jake found himself absorbed in Lyra's tales of her world. He could see the sparkle in her eyes as she described the extraordinary landscapes of Eloria, their vibrant cities shimmering under twin suns. Your world sounds magical, Jake remarked. I can only imagine what it must be like to walk among those landscapes. Lyra smiled, her aura flickering around her with soft hues. It is. Each day is a new canvas to explore, much like your food here, filled with layers and colors. You know, you give music a run for its money with that poetic description, Jake teased, his bravado pushing past his shyness. And you humans turn cooking into a form of art, Lyra shot back, grinning. As they continued to laugh, Jake's heart raced. There was an unmistakable chemistry swirling between them, a connection that sparked something deeper. In the midst of their light-hearted banter, Jake's gaze lingered on Lyra, marveling at the way her expressions changed. As the evening drew to a close, Zara excused herself to clean up. You two wrap up. I'll handle the dishes. Are you sure? Jake asked, grateful for her help. No worries. Just talk. I'll join you guys in a bit, Zara smiled, disappearing into the kitchen. With only the two of them now, Jake hesitated, feeling the tension shift. Thanks for tonight. I really enjoyed our time together, he managed, his words coming out softer. I did too, Lyra responded, her eyes meeting his. An electric current passed between them, drawing them closer. I never expected any of this, Jake admitted, shifting uneasily. We started with the journal, but this feels different. Lyra nodded slowly, her expression serious. Connections among beings transcend words, Jake. They flow, dance like currents in water. I feel that with you. Jake swallowed hard, his heart racing. Me too. An intimacy hung in the air, and without thinking, he leaned in slightly, wanting to bridge the distance. Lyra followed suit, her gaze intent on his. And then, as their lips met, the world around them faded away. It was soft, tentative at first, an exploration of something profound. Jake felt warmth flood through him, igniting a spark that danced between them. When they pulled back, both breathless, Jake searched Lyra's eyes. What just happened? Lyra's expressions flickered through various colors, revealing her surprise and joy. I believe we have deepened our connection. Yeah, I definitely felt it, Jake said, his heart racing. As they sat in the afterglow of that moment, the stars shining brightly outside the lab, Jake knew this was only the beginning. They had ventured into uncharted territory together, and it felt exhilarating. Chapter 5, New Chapters. The day after their shared moment, Jake awoke with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The lab was abuzz with anticipation. Everyone was eager to hear how the cultural exchange had unfolded. It was a fresh day, and there was a distinct energy in the air. Morning, sleepyhead, Zara called, entering with a stack of reports. How'd the dinner go? Did you two hit it off? Jake his eyes, a grin spreading across his face. You could say that. It was, well, different than I expected. Zara's eyes widened. Different how? Come on, spill the details. There was a moment, he said, trying to choose his words carefully. He could feel his cheeks warming. We shared a kiss. Zara gasped, excitement dancing in her features. Whoa. Seriously. This is monumental. I know. But I didn't anticipate it happening. Lyra and I just connected, Jake replied, still feeling the flutter of their kiss. It feels so intense and new. Dive in, my friend. Don't second-guess what could happen next, she encouraged, grabbing a nearby data slate. Have you heard from her since? Actually, no. I was kind of hoping to see her again today, Jake admitted, glancing at his console. Let's send her a quick message. Maybe we can set up something for later, Zara suggested, moving to the communication terminal. Jake hesitated. What if she's overwhelmed? I mean, we just shared a kiss, and we're still getting to know each other. Sure, but you were also invited into an exchange of cultures. This is all part of it, not just food, Zara argued. You owe it to both of you to explore where this could go. Feeling encouraged, Jake settled beside Zara. Together, they typed out a quick note inviting Lyra to meet them again. Okay, it's sent, Zara said, looking at Jake with anticipation. Now we wait. While they waited, Jake found it hard to focus on anything else. His thoughts drifted back to Lyra's laughter, the warmth of her hand, and how their connection had blossomed within mere hours. Within an hour, the comm system chimed again. Communication from Lyra. Zara announced, her eyes gleaming as the screen flickered to life. Lyra's familiar form materialized, her expressive features illuminated by the lab lights. Greetings. I have received your message and would be delighted to meet again. Great. We were just talking about, Jake began, but Zara quickly interjected. Would you like to join us for a nature walk on Virtus Prime? She asked. We could explore the flora and fauna while chatting informally. There are some stunning sights. Lyra's smile widened and her aura danced with shades of excitement. What an intriguing idea. Nature has profound stories, I welcome the chance. Perfect. Jake said, feeling relief wash over him. We can share tales while surrounded by the beauty of this world. A few hours later, they found themselves in a vibrant section of Virtus Prime where crystalline trees shimmered in the sunlight. The air was thick with the scent of tropical flowers, a mix of sweet and tangy that heightened their senses. Jake was walking slightly ahead of Lyra and Zara, stealing glances back. Isn't this stunning? He asked, gesturing to a cascading waterfall that sparkled like jewels. Yes. The colors are breathtaking, Lyra replied, her eyes reflecting the vibrant hues around them. I can feel the energy of this water, it is alive. I love that you can sense these things. It makes you appreciate nature differently, Jake said, intrigued. Indeed. Each element carries a story that echoes in the mind, Lyra replied, her tone philosophical. How does your people's perception of nature differ? Zara piped in, well, we often connect it to emotions. Nature can evoke feelings such as nostalgia or joy. Just like food, Jake added, feeling a sense of camaraderie growing between them. Different places change the way we feel about moments in life. That resonates. I often explore emotions tied to my surroundings during my studies in Eloria, Lyra said thoughtfully. Jake smiled, genuinely interested. What's your favorite part of Eloria's nature? A place called Lyra, Lyra responded, her eyes shimmering at the thought. It is a forest where luminescent flowers bloom at dusk and their light reacts to sounds. It becomes a canvas for music. Wow! A symphony in nature! Zara exclaimed. That sounds mesmerizing. It is. Each melody stirs the flowers and creates a vibrant dance of light, Lyra explained, her essence flowing with excitement. It is said to be a ritualistic experience meant to bond communities. I'd love to see that, Jake said, now completely enthralled. Maybe we can gather our communities for a similar experience here. With Zara nodding fervently, Jake could sense the ideas flourishing as they walked further among the trees. As they continued exploring, they shared more tales, stories of humor, history, and cherished memories. The more they talked, the closer Jake felt to Lyra, sensing a growing bond that transcended their differences. At one point, they reached a tranquil clearing. Sunlight streamed through the leaves, creating patterns on the ground, inviting them to sit. Let's take a breather, Zara suggested, her breath slightly hurried. Jake nodded, grateful for the break. They settled on soft moss, laughter spilling into the air. This place is magical, Lyra remarked, looking around. It feels welcoming and vibrant. It is, Jake agreed, feeling the moment's warmth envelop them. Nature has a way of grounding us. Like a canvas where life paints moments in hues and shades, Lyra mused, her voice dipping into a thoughtful tone. Jake found himself lost in her eyes. I've enjoyed our connected moments. It gives me a clearer understanding of who you are. Lyra tilted her head, colors swirling around her. And you, Jake, make the human experience richer. The tension between them hung thick in the air, charged with unspoken feelings. With the sun casting gentle rays, Jake leaned closer, feeling a pull toward Lyra. You know, he said softly, what we shared the other night was unexpected but beautiful. Lyra smiled, her aura glimmering with warmth. It was a significant moment, one that reflected our connection. Jake couldn't resist any longer, he leaned in, their faces inches apart. I'd like to explore this connection more, he said, breaths mingling in the warm afternoon air. Lyra nodded, her eyes sparkling. I would like that too. In one fluid motion, they leaned in, their lips meeting softly. This kiss, unlike the last, felt infused with the essence of their time together, filled with curiosity, understanding, and deepening attraction. As they pulled back, both Jake and Lyra blinked in surprise, smiles spreading across their faces. That was incredible, Jake breathed, his heart racing. Yes, it was, Lyra agreed, her aura glowing invitingly. Zara, who had watched in playful disbelief, clapped her hands together. Well, this is just delightful. I'm officially a fan of this pairing. Jake chuckled, feeling lighthearted. Thanks for facilitating, Zara. Anytime. Just one more thing, Zara added, shifting her tone to playful seriousness. You two need to practice your karaoke skills before she leaves. No argument there, Lyra said with a bright laugh, her eyes shining. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, the trio sat in the idyllic clearing, hearts filled with promise. They shared stories and dreams, weaving their cultures together under the vast canopy of the stars. Jake knew this was merely the beginning. An advent of new chapters in an extraordinary tale that blended human and Elorian worlds, destined for further exploration and understanding.